awaken spirits, enrich minds, and work alongside communities to build, motivate, and inspire. This is truly the royal experience. When you dream of a different world, beyond the ordinary, beyond time, discover just how far you'll go to expand your understanding of life's greatest mysteries. There's just one place on this planet with so much to offer. Now is the time for you to have the royal experience.
You're watching Eswatini TV News at 10. I'm Notlesi Tola alongside Nomaxabiso Nkambule. First, here's a look at our headlining stories tonight. His Majesty King Mswati III has toured development projects at Hlane that are poised to catalyze economic growth in the country. The Minister of ICT says cybercrime has no exception. It is an equal threat to the wealthy and vulnerable. The public has given different views on the Eswatini Water Services Corporation's prepaid water meter project. And now the news in detail. His Majesty King Mswati III has toured development projects at Hlane that are poised to catalyze economic growth in the country. The projects which were toured by His Majesty include the Hlane Royal Residence Arena, the Hlane Royal Hotel, which is expected to start operating in January next year, and the Hlane Reptile Park, which is also under construction. His Majesty is being joined by Emakhosikati, their Royal Highnesses, Bantwabunkosi, the Prime Minister, and the nation.
His Majesty began his tour at the Hlane Royal Residence Arena, where he was received by the Prime Minister and the Minister of Public Works, Chief Nhlanhla Ndwandwe. Richard Francie from Stefanuti Stocks briefed His Majesty on the construction progress of the facility which hosts the annual Bukani Festival. His Majesty the King stated that he expected the project to be completed next year. Still at Hlane, His Majesty the King also toured a hotel development, which is a multi-million Malangeni investment by Inyati Group Holdings. Inyati Group Holdings chairman Michelo Shakantu led the King on a guided tour of the state-of-the-art facility that is poised to make a significant contribution to the economy. The hotel, which is expected to be fully operational in January 2026, is part of developments that will transform the Hlane community into a booming cultural town with state-of-the-art facilities. It also forms part of giant steps that have been taken by His Majesty towards attaining sustainable development for the country. The facility, which is strategically located close to the King Mswati III International Airport, will feature a double-story building with 42 rooms. Currently, the project has created 50 jobs and more jobs will be created as construction progresses. 60 million emalangeni has been invested in the first phase of the project. The King also blessed the construction of the Hlane Reptile Park, a 25 million emalangeni upcoming development that will contribute towards the growth of the tourism sector. His Majesty was received by His Royal Highness Prince Sikalo, who led His Majesty on a guided tour of the facility with its director, businessman Tom Lin. 5 million emalangeni has been invested on the first phase of the construction of the park. Currently, 40 people have gained employment in the construction of the facility, which seeks to attract domestic and international tourists. The first phase will feature the development of a lodge, a restaurant, an outdoor event venue, while the second phase will include the development of shops, conference facilities, and banks. The third phase will be the development of the park itself, which will keep a variety of reptiles. His Majesty endorsed the project through unveiling a plaque and planting a tree. His Majesty also blessed the Eswatini Dairy Board Distribution Warehouse, which is another multi-million emalangeni project located close to the King Mswati III International Airport. The facility will be used to store agriculture products that will be exported to world markets and products that will be imported into the country. The King cut the sword to officially endorse the construction of the facility. Over the past 2 weeks, His Majesty the King launched multi-million emalangeni projects that are poised to elevate the economy of the Lubombo region and contribute to the welfare of its approximately 260 citizens. His Majesty handed over projects funded through the Regional Development Fund worth approximately 100 million emalangeni to cooperatives and communities in the region. The King also blessed the Galanga Gateway Shopping Complex, Galanga Technical Center, 2 textile factory shells in Nzevane and Gamula, which will bring 2,000 new jobs, and Magomba Coal Mine in Paga, a project that will bring over 2,800 new jobs. At the Good Shepherd College, the King blessed over 100 graduates and commissioned a new outpatient department and an eye clinic, which he named Imvulamehlo Emaswati Eye Clinic. On the news, I'm Sandile Makanya, reporting with Zoli Masuku and Temba Mamba in Hlane.
Cybercrime has no exception. It is an equal threat to the wealthy and vulnerable. This has been said by the Minister of Information, Communications and Technology, Senator Savannah Maziya, when she was launching the Cybercrime Standard Operating Guidelines.
Minister for Information, Communications and Technology, Senator Savannah Maziya, says these initiatives are essential. Continuing to invest in training and awareness campaigns makes government programs like the Government in Your Hand more feasible.
Sometimes we fail to appreciate that cybercrime is a full-time job for other people. So just like you get up in the morning to go to the office or to go to the fields, wherever it is that you're working, they get up every single morning to look at what they can do in this area of cybercrime. And so just some numbers that I think you'll find interesting is that this particular year, they're saying that the projection for cybercrime globally is 10.5 trillion American dollars. And in 2015, it was $3 trillion. So it makes you understand that that is approximately 10% of the global GDP. So it really is an industry, and people are really every day learning and skilling themselves and ensuring that what they do is still from the everyday, hardworking, honest person.
British High Commissioner Colin Wells applauded stakeholders, including Eswatini Communications Commission ESCOM, Eswatini Royal Police Service, and banks for making substantial efforts in fighting cybercrime.
Countries like Eswatini, countries like the United Kingdom need to work on these in order to protect our citizens, to protect our organisations, to protect our budgets and our financial streams. But we also need to work together. And that I'm glad to say, I'm very glad that we've been able to partner with Eswatini on this particular project, this workshop.
Frameworks governing crimes are important in order to protect eMaSwati. Over the past year, 260 cases of Fakata fraud have been reported to the police, with financial losses exceeding 3 million emalangeni. The banking sector reported 9 high-value cyber fraud cases, and the financial damage exceeding 7 million emalangeni. Internet fraud reported between October 2023 and November 2024 had financial damage surpassing 29 million emalangeni. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I am Satable Mamba, together with Smuva Shongwe, Roa Villas, Zuluini.
Minister of Education and Training, Honorable Owen Nxumalo, says the Skills Anticipation Report clearly shows that there is a skills mismatch and a high number of unemployed youth. The minister said this when the Eswatini Higher Education Council launched the report.
The aim is to identify gaps between skills supplied by institutions and those demanded by industries. Minister for Education, Honorable Owen Nxumalo, says they are committed to bring exactly what eMaSwati need for development.
The Kingdom of Eswatini understands that our prosperity is inherently lied to our ability to cultivate an educated, knowledgeable, and healthy populace. These individuals are the backbone of our efforts to drive economic and social growth. Today, the sobering realities of our skills mismatch, evidenced by a high youth unemployment rate, highlight that failure to invest in our human resources can severely limit our potential as a nation.
Chairman of ESHEC Piwayinkosi Gininza says youth unemployment stands at 48.7%, a decrease from 58.2% in 2021, but still a major concern.
Through the introduction of micro-credentials, we hope to close the skills gaps and enhance the employability of our youth. But not only employability of our youth, we also want to produce entrepreneurs that will sustain the initiative that government has started to work on.
Representing the Minister of Labour and Social Security, Makosini Mdawe, applauds everyone involved in this initiative.
We must now move forward collectively. It is essential that educational institutions align their curricula with the evolving needs of our labor market. We must work alongside employers and industry leaders to ensure that we produce graduates who are not only knowledgeable, but also equipped with the practical skills to excel in their respective fields.
ESHEC, in partnership with the Taiwan Technical Mission and ESEPOC, launched the National Labour Market Skills Project in 26 July 2024. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Satable Mamba, together with Bwangan Masugu, Roa Villas, Zuluini.
The Ministry of Natural Resources and Energy has officially launched a water and sanitation project worth 4 million emalangeni at Makupeleni and Keke Inkundla. About 600 eMaSwati will benefit from this project. The ministry has also commemorated the World Water Day of 2025 under the theme Glacier Preservation.
World Water Day is celebrated annually on the 22nd of March. The United Nations declared theme for the year 2025 as glacier preservation. This call follows the disappearance of glaciers due to negative impacts of climate change as a result of rising temperatures. Worth noting is that glaciers store just about 70% of the world's freshwater sources. Standing in for the Minister of Natural Resources and Energy, His Royal Highness Prince Longkokela, was the Principal Secretary in the Ministry, Lindiwe Mbingo, who has launched the Makubeleni Water and Sanitation Project.
The Makubeleni Potable Water and Sanitation Project is one of the projects of the government of the Kingdom of Eswatini that will accelerate water supply and sanitation in a number of areas. This water project, which cost 4,375,000, will benefit 600 households under 3 chiefdoms, which are Mashobeni South, Mgazini, and Mlindazwe. Access to safe and clean drinking water and sanitation is a fundamental human right. Many rural communities have struggled to enjoy this right for a very long time. This has resulted in a huge burden on women and children to travel long distances to collect water, usually from unsafe sources, resulting in a number of issues, including waterborne diseases. While we acknowledge that the Kingdom of Eswatini does not have glaciers due to her geographical location in sub-Saharan Africa, we recognize the importance of joining the world in addressing the impact of climate change on glaciers. As a nation, we are steadfast in our commitment to climate-resilient practices, including sustainable water use, investment in green infrastructure, and the conservation of natural water resources to ensure a sustainable future for all.
The Chief's representative, Chief Tunusa, has warned beneficiaries from the different imiparati to avoid future quarrels, as that will halt the purpose of the project. Tandoguhle Mdluli, Eswatini TV News, Makubeleni.
Following the announcement of the launch of the prepaid water metering solution by the Eswatini Water Services Corporation, Eswatini TV interviewed eMaswati to get their opinions on the matter.
This is a great initiative, especially because we will have control over how much we spend. It also makes one be conscious of their monthly expenditure.
Water is a daily need, hence there should not be any restrictions towards accessing it. So I think they should keep the already existing system.
It's going to make us plan better. We know what we're actually paying for, and we know how to budget now. Yeah, I'm very excited about it actually.
This is amazing. I will be able to know that 100 emalangeni amounts to how much water.
For me, I'm very happy about this innovation because you will find that your water bill is excessive to the point where you are even doubtful if it was collected correctly or it was just an estimation.
This initiative is happening while the company is working on major projects targeting rural communities. One of the projects is the Eswatini Water Supply and Sanitation Access Project in the Nhlangano Lavumisa corridor, another starting from Manzini to Mfongwaneni. Another project that is underway is the refurbishment of the Simunye to Sitegi water supply system, not leaving the Lomahasha cross-border water supply project. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I am Satable Mamba, together with Bongani Masugu in Babane.
The government of the Republic of China and Taiwan has initiated a medical outreach at the Malinza refugee camp On Thursday, Taiwanese medical experts conducted medical screenings on the refugees, some residents, and provided medication for various illnesses, including flu and diabetes. About 1,000 people at the Malinza refugee camp benefited from the medical assistance provided on Thursday by the Taiwan Embassy. This initiative was carried out in partnership with the North American Taiwanese Medical Association. Taiwan's ambassador to Eswatini, His Excellency Jeremy Liang, says the existing relationship between Eswatini and Taiwan continues to advance health care.
The refugee center always come first to us because this is the area where people are in need for this medical services, and for the NETMA, the association, they has no hesitate, just say they are coming. So with this partnership, I think they make a huge differences for people in this center.
The director of the refugee camp, Bongegile Mamba, says although the center has a health facility, the presence of the Taiwanese doctors makes a significant difference.
Utawukhanza ukuthi noma ngahulumende unayo imali loyo mhlawumbe uyasita ngalasita ngako.
She says this will bring cure to the illnesses that their facility is unable to treat due to limited medication stock. She says such medical support helps restore hope. Some members of the surrounding community also benefited from the medical outreach. The residents expressed gratitude for the medical assistance, saying they usually travel long distances to access healthcare services. They say at the nearby hospital, there is usually no medication, and this assistance meets them at the point of their need. The Taiwanese doctors provided medical checkups and treatment for common illnesses and diabetes, among others. Reporting, I'm Notsile Sitole, Utemba Shabangu, Malinza. The Red Cross Society has educated members of parliament from 6 constituencies in the Lubombo and Shiseleni regions about the Red Cross Organization Act and international humanitarian law. The parliamentarians were educated about the international humanitarian law during a meeting held at the George Hotel. The president of the Bapalali Red Cross Society, Dr. Bongan Masugu, says capacitating members of parliament on this law will help them become advocates for protecting humanitarian workers who assist communities during emergencies. He says the engagement is necessitated by the need to enhance understanding among the honourable members of parliament about the role of the Red Cross and international humanitarian law in Eswatini. Masugu adds that this will improve engagement between lawmakers and humanitarian actors while providing a platform to discuss challenges and opportunities related to humanitarian work in Eswatini. The regional administrator of the Shiseleni region, Themba Nhlanganiso Masugu, said that for humanitarian workers to deliver aid quickly, they need to be recognized and supported by different institutions.
I think I have some experience in the Red Cross.
He says among the institutions is the church that also holds potential in ensuring that funding is secured for the organization. Some members of parliament who were part of the meeting are from Masaisini, Lomahasha and Sikwe constituency, and they say understanding humanitarian law is crucial for lawmakers as it enables them to create legislation that protects aid workers and ensures that relief efforts are not hindered by legal or administrative challenges. They advocate for continuous engagement between government structures and humanitarian organizations to ensure rapid and effective responses during emergencies. This meeting aligns with global standards that ensure the safety of humanitarian workers while on duty and is a major step towards strengthening collaboration between lawmakers and organizations providing humanitarian aid in the country. Reporting, I am Notsile Sitole in Manzini. 17,000 smallholder legume and vegetable farmers will benefit from the over 851 million Malangeni smallholder agricultural productivity enhancement and marketing project, which will be implemented by the Eswatini Water and Agricultural Development Enterprise. The project, supported by the International Fund for Agricultural Development, was launched by the Minister for Agriculture, Honorable Mandla Chauka, at MVA Building in Babane.
The project will be implemented over an 8-year period from this year until 2033. The Minister for Agriculture says the funding is 60% grant and 40% loan at very favorable terms. He says the funding has been secured with the support from the Ministry of Finance. He continues to say they are looking to secure more funding from the International Fund for Agricultural Development.
Discuss the possibility of getting an additional 14.2 million US funding, which could be channeled through this fund. The process of domesticating, for lack of a better word, that money is underway.
The Minister for Finance, Honorable Neil Rickenberg, says the fund has come at an opportune time when the country is putting all efforts into ensuring food security.
Agriculture is the solution for our unemployment and for our poverty in Eswatini. And so really what we are doing here is in the center, in the perfect space of what we need to do to try and transform our country.
The International Fund for Agricultural Development's country director, Francesco, states the reasons they decided to fund the project.
I believe this project is extremely relevant for the development of the agricultural sector in Eswatini. If you look at the country, 70% of the population live in rural areas, and more than 70% relies their income from smallholder agricultural activities. However, smallholder farmers still face a lot of challenges and constraints. On the one hand is low productivity and production, at the same time highly reliance on rain-fed agriculture and exposure to climate change.
The International Fund for Agricultural Development says EWADE has a long track record of successfully implementing projects in the agriculture space, including the recently concluded smallholder market-led project supported by the organization, which was completed last year, reaching out to about 90,000 beneficiaries. This project that has been launched today will create 7,500 employment opportunities. For Eswatini TV News, Nelson Dlangamandla, Fuminkosi Nzinisa Mbabane.
And now let's have a look at our financial indicators.
Standard Bank.
And moving on to sports, Chief Executive Officer of Eswatini Olympic and Commonwealth Games Association, Maxwell Cheli, says the Lubombo Marathon is ranked among the best athletic competitions in the country, with an aim to showcase to the world that indeed Eswatini has talented athletes who can compete internationally when it comes to long-distance running.
Yoga is very, very happy with the Lubombo Marathon. We are seeing that this marathon is gaining momentum. And in fact, it is addressing some of the key issues that we have as a country. It aligns in our strategy going forward. As you are aware that over the last year or so, there's been a paradigm shift that we are looking at. We've been discussing with the Sports Council, we've been discussing with the association of reintroducing medium to long distance running into our portfolio. Now we have just started the new quadrennial, looking at LA 2028 Olympics. And I'm happy that the Lubombo Marathon is coming right at the beginning of our program for the next 4 years. And by saying that, we are committed as yoga in assisting. And in this regard, we are going to be sponsoring a water point as an organization, trusting that this will go a long way, in assisting the overall objective of the event, in particular, the athletes, the marathoners, on the day. So we do wish the association all the best and commend your efforts. I know that this is from a club level, but some of the biggest events we see around the world are actually facilitated and organized at club level.
That's all for now. Before I go, here's a reminder of our headlining stories. His Majesty King Mswati III has toured development projects at Hlane that are poised to catalyze economic growth in the country. The Minister of ICT says cybercrime has no exception. It is an equal threat to the wealthy and vulnerable. The public has given different views on the Eswatini Water Services Corporation's prepaid water meter project. And with that, it's a wrap. I'll leave you with the weather update from myself and the crew. Thank you for your company. Take care.